Good day, good people. Thanks for joining me. Phaedra Dion here, owner and lead educator at SDG2. A recent viewer left the following comment. I added an offset to a design. Design Space decided that the offset needed a color. How do I get rid of the color so all I have is a stroke? I replied in Word on YouTube to the comment. Since I'm a visual person, I figured an actual video tutorial of my reply would be helpful to the person leaving the comment and or to some of you as well. Let's get started. I am going to go into Design Space, and if this is a little blurry, it's because I am accessing it on my remote computer because I have the paid version of Cricut Access and I have a free version that I use when I do my tutorials. And my SVG Tuts version is on the free account. And I like to do free stuff because not everybody has the cost of Cricut Access in their budget. So that's why it's a little blurry. If it's very blurry and distracting, could you please let me know that in the comments? In my reply to the comment on YouTube, I wrote the following. When you add an offset, you're not just adding a stroke. You are making a duplicate of the design you have with the offset being just a bit bigger than the original design. If you just want a stroke, you will need to select the original design and the offset and then slice. Keep in mind that you can only slice 2 layers at a time. If your design has multiple layers, you'll need to set the offset for the widest layer. Hopefully, that will be the bottom layer of your design, and then select that one layer and the offset and slice. Once you've done the slice, you can delete the part of the offset you don't want and keep what's left, which will be the stroke. So what does that look like? Here in Design Space, I'm going to go to Canvas, and then I'm going to go to Shapes. And I'll just grab a circle and I will make it yellow. So right now you can see this small black border around this circle. That is not a stroke. That is letting you know that that is what the Cricut is going to cut. That's what that border is. So when I click on it and it shows basic cut, it's showing me that that's what it's going to cut. It's not an actual border. So what people do is they add an offset. So I'm going to go here to offset and I'm going to make my offset pretty small. So 0.05 and I'll hit tab so I can preview it. And that's what I want my stroke to be around my circle. So I'm going to click apply. Now it looks like a stroke, but it's not a stroke. What it is just a larger version of my original object. So I'm going to put these back together. And now what I need to do with both of them selected is I need to go to slice. And once I slice, I can get rid of this inner part of the offset. And I will select both layers and I will align them to the center. And so now I have my offset and my circle, but my offset is just a stroke. This is how you get a stroke in Design Space. So this is simple, but what do we do if this is a more complex design? Let's go to images and I'm going to choose browse all images. I'm going to filter by free and I'm going to put in heart. And I'm going to find a heart that I like. I like this heart here. It's free. It's called Heart Mandala. I'm going to click it to load it up down here and then I'm going to add it to my canvas. Now with this heart, I have 3 different layers. I want a stroke around this before I flatten it. So what I need to do is I need to get to the bottom layer. The bottom layer is always the layer basically at the bottom of the group. So I'm going to hide these 2 layers while I work with this layer. Now notice that black line again. That black line is telling us that that is where our Cricut machine is going to cut. I am going to make an offset on the bottom layer. So I'm going to go to offset and I'm going to change this 0.25 to 0.05 and hit tab to see a preview, and then I'm going to apply. My heart mandala is in a group, but I can just choose this one layer. I don't have to ungroup this. I can just choose this one layer along with this offset, and I'm holding down control on my keyboard, and then I can slice. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of the black part here because that's the part I don't need. And if you notice, it pulled my yellow layer out of the group. So I'm gonna put it back in there. I'm gonna just drag it in and drop it, but it's not where I need it to be. I just dropped it in the middle so that I could make sure it stayed in the group and didn't go below. And I'm also just gonna drag my slice result into the group, and I'll put it second to last so I can just switch them around. And so now I have this offset. So if I turn these 3 layers off, I have my stroke because I've gotten rid of the middle of it. And that's how you would do it if you had multiple layers. If you need help, leave me a comment. If you have questions, leave me a comment. And if you have comments, leave me a comment. And thank you very much for watching.